also got my sticker put on the passenger's window here. The Great Lakes Truck Club, every year they have a really nice truck show of classic and antique trucks in Clifford, Ontario. This year it's June the 28th to the 30th. Look it up and check the show out. It's really good, and there's a lot of old trucks there, and I'm hoping to have this one there this year. I've gone it for a few years now, but I've never had this truck there, and it's always a great turnout. So look them up, Great Lakes Truck Club, the show in Clifford, Ontario. It's well worth the drive. Alright, so I bought some things here. These are a pair of stainless things for the top of the windowsills. Grab handle for the door right here. But the upholstery is a little bit rough at the top of the window, so I figured if I put these on, it's going to be a nice touch, and it'll cover the damage to the window from having his arm on it for driving. So, of course, this is just a protective coating here, but they're stainless. So that should look really good. I bought a pair of new boots here for the shifters, and these stainless rings, the old rings here. I tried to clean them up a bit, but they were really corroded. So for a wee bit of money, get some new stainless ones. So got a matching set of shift knobs here. They're actually quite nice. I was a little bit scared that Peterbilt logo was just going to be like a sticker, but it's actually a thing that's inside of the knob itself. And yeah, they look really good. I was kind of depressed that I'd have to get something new. Here's the old knob style here. Like, if I could have got a set of these, the original style knobs, that would have been pretty sweet. But I'm sure if I tracked down a pair of these, it would have been a small fortune. So these are almost as nice, and they'll look really good with all the amber glitter that I'm going to end up having inside. And I'm thinking amber footwell lights too. So I'm thinking this is going to look pretty sweet when it's all done. So I have one stick away getting fixed, and this is the main stick here. I'm going to sand it doan more. They actually would look decent if I sanded them, instead of going to all the trouble of getting them plated. They're really not that hard to pull out if I change my mind about that. So yeah, this is the little bit I've gotten so far. I've got a bit of a shopping list to go through yet, but you know, as I go through it, I'm not in such a hurry, so I'll buy what I need when I get there rather than spending all the money up front and it being a long time before it even gets on the truck. So yeah, I'll get these put in. When the stick comes back, I will get my carpet in, put the sticks in, get the boots on, put these on. I'm not sure if I'll put the seats in right away or not. I might want to work on the dash, and that's kind of easier to do when the seats aren't there, and whatever little upholstery work I have to do yet. So yeah, that's the to-do list so far. Alright, so this is after one pass of dye on the carpet. This is what I'm using here. So I took 4 ounces of this, so half the bottle, and mixed it with 16 ounces of really hot water, and then used a spray bottle to soak it. So in the video it looks worse than it does actually looking at it in real life. It's about what I was hoping for color, so I'm going to do my second pass. Like here in the video it kind of looks like black and grayish kind of, but these color differences are way less apparent in real life than they are in the video. So yeah, I just sprayed it down till I used up the whole bottle of water there, then ran over it with a little brush, those little plastic brushes you can get, and so it looks like now. So I'll go over it again once this dries. Keep on brushing it up there so it kind of gets worked in. But, I'm fairly impressed so far. So it's just this, if it will focus there. So far so good. We'll see how that stands up. I'll show you the finished product here in a bit. So this is the auxiliary stick. I got new rods made for it because the old ones were fairly worn. If you can see in here, these two slots, they were worn a little bit, but what was also worn is as the stick would slide across the face of the one rod to catch the next slot, that had slowly been worn in. I would say 1/8 of an inch was worn off the sides of the rod, so that made the stick a lot floppier. It still has some sideways flop here, which if you welded up the nub on the stick there, it would, yeah, the nub there, if you made it a bit fatter, it wouldn't slop side to side so much, but it really wasn't worth the job to try to do that and get it ground down again. So this will be fine. I just have to get this reassembled, the springs put in it, and then I will be able to mount it in the truck. So here's one thing I did. This spring, which is basically the, and here's the ball for the shifter, and then I have this washer here and the spring and the roll pin and the stick, and basically what that is to, as long as there's a lot of spring pressure on here, it's going to center the ball, which is basically how it pops it out of gear. And then it's kind of important because if you're some trucks, you know, the sticks aren't straight, they tend to be fairly heavy one way or the other. And if the spring isn't on here, if you have it in neutral, but just have the truck idling, the weight of the stick can just be pulling on it a wee bit and actually be kind of tickling a gear or putting pressure on the shift forks that you don't want. So this spring is quite important. So it's a very heavy spring, and in order to get it on like this, what it is I compressed it in the vise, put a heavy zip tie on it, and that actually held it good enough that I put it over here. I had to use a 1/2-inch drive 7/8 socket, deep socket, to go over here and drive it down, and then I was just able to get the roll pin in here. So if you're doing something by yourself, actually, that seemed to work. Not like I'd recommend doing that all the time because you could have a spring let go at any second, but it worked for me. Also, I should mention, if you're doing that, you are going to have to pull that tie strap out of the spring. So the way I do it, this is not a time-saving thing at all. If you've got help available, use it. But if you use this, I can only do it with one hand here while I'm taking the camera. But take your flat, spread the coils, and then in this case I'm using a pointed one to loop it under the tie strap and pull it through, and then just slowly unthread it and pop it out. Like I said, it's no way to save time, but if you're the only guy around, then you pretty much have to do what you can. So here's the spring out of the main gear stick there. If you had seen in my other video, it was broken when I pulled it out, so I know you're really not supposed to weld springs, but I'm guessing a welded spring is better than a broken spring. See if it breaks again or what happens, but this is the result. I'm going to flex it a couple times, but really the spring doesn't get compressed very far. It's just, you know, to keep the stick centered. So fingers crossed that'll hold for as long as I need it to.